Yeah. Here, we can do that too. Welcome everybody while we just get things finished setting up. Just kidding. Does it say that it's live yet? There we go. Oh, we still got it on again. We always forget about that part. Oh wait, we can't go there, huh? Okay. All right, I think we're up and running. So welcome everybody. We are working on day 4 of our project. We have the bezel set pendant. Yesterday we had a whole exercise of what to do when things go wrong, or they have to, you know, things just didn't happen right and you would have to change your design or whatever else the case might be. So in this case, we actually had a couple design changes, and Kate decided to work a little bit differently on her pendant. Let me pull it over to the camera that's showing the bench pin, please. So what we ended up doing with Kate's is we ended up doing 3 cutouts here. Let me zoom in just a little bit on this. There we go.
That last one looked kind of wonky.
There a little bit, but what we did, and if you look, you can actually kind of see that they kind of match the music notes. So while, yes, it is a larger opening, we also kind of found out that we like it because, there we go, because when we get our stone into place, you get the flash of the stone from behind it.
Huh?
Do you see that on the video? Okay. You're going to have to wait for just a second, sweet pea. So anyway, and this is why we want to have a hole in the back of our piece, so we can come back in here and pop that stone out. We also found out that Kate's does not need to be lifted. However, both mine and Kiari's will need to be lifted.
What does that mean?
Good question. So right now, when we put our stones into our bezel, it sits too low. And so it's going to have to be lifted up a little bit.
The unicorn of the week is here. Unicorn of the week.
Unicorn of the week. We can't do a video without the unicorn of the week, of course. So, all right.
I have to show the unicorn of the week.
Yes, we did have to show it. Thank you for showing it.
Do you have to take my stuff?
Yes, because we still have to do some soldering and filing and all kinds of stuff. So Kate also, we had a nice little extra session last night. Kate's feeling a lot better about her piece now, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, but Kate actually got a lot of soldering hands-on experience where she made little balls. And that's kind of fun, huh? Because then all you have to do is just melt the thing.
I want to make little balls.
Okay, we will, but not right now.
That almost looks like one of those cases that hold glasses, except it's made out of
It does kind of look like glass.
Pull them out of the pickle.
No, we did not pull those out of the pickle, so you can go get them out of the pickle. So Kate learned how to make the little balls. And
I know how to make the little balls.
And we made them intentionally, because sometimes you end up making little balls unintentionally, but we did it on purpose.
You just grab some metal and heat it up and it makes the ball.
Yep, that's exactly right. But there's a couple of different ways that you can do it so that they stay nice and uniform.
So it's not
okay.
hard.
So one of the other things that she decided to do was she made this sweet little flower. Again, let me pull you down to this camera. Let's see if I can zoom you in on this. It's really cute, the camera that she did. Oh, it looks like that's as far as zoomed in as we're gonna get. But anyway, so it is just this little cluster of the balls, and she soldered it all together, and she is going to use this as an embellishment on her piece. So that'll be kind of fun for her on that. In addition, other things that are going to happen on hers. So one of the things that we noticed was that her back plate, well, her bezel didn't get soldered exactly in the center on her back plate. So on this side over here, we have ever so slightly more metal. And the options here are that we can either, you know, come back in and we can shave this down by filing or sanding or something like that. But by having this little larger element, we can place this over here and it will kind of help kind of hide the fact that it's not perfectly centered. And again, it makes it look a little bit more intentional. In addition, she is going to pierce a large hole here in the top, and then she's going to line it with a copper rivet. So it'll give, again, just another element of, I guess, kind of a different element to her piece. So it was kind of exciting to go through this process with her. And because, I mean, as you guys saw yesterday, she was pretty upset with kind of how things went and the fact that it didn't go according to plan. And again, like I said, that's just something that kind of happens. And unfortunately, it happens more often than the majority of us would like to say that it does. But it was fun to sit down with her and go through this and kind of come up with some new ideas. So it was her idea to kind of just make these little holes in here a little bit more pronounced as a music note, and it totally works. So it still fits that music note theme. You can still tell that that's what it is, but now we got the added benefit that we can see that sparkle from the stone as well. So it was kind of fun to go through that, and it was really, really satisfying as a metalsmith, jeweler, and mother to watch my daughter do multiple things, because not only did she do that, but I also had her solder on the 3 bezel cups for each of my pieces, and she did that by herself.
Oh, I wanted to do that.
I know. Believe me.
I like soldering it on.
You like soldering those on?
Yeah, because you go psh.
Believe me, baby, you will have lots of practice to do that. Welcome, Felix. It's good to see you again. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're at now. Kiari's piece, hers is all soldered into place, and we are ready to start our cleanup process. Now, actually, one thing I would do before that is I would pierce a hole right here in the back of the tube setting. And that is going to, 1, allow light to come in, and 2, it allows us to clean it, and 3, it allows us to pop that stone out if we need to. Now, in this case, we are using, hang on just a second, sweetie. In this case, we're using some pre-made bezels that are meant for tube setting. They are made by, well, I don't know who they're made by, but I get mine through Halstead Bead. Now, you can also order those from Rio, from Stoller, from, I think maybe even Auto Fry has some. So there's a number of places that you can get those, but I really do like the ones that come from Halstead Bead. They are matched perfectly with their stones that you can get from them. But as long as you're buying like a calibrated 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well 7, not 7, because nobody makes 7mm stones for whatever reason. But 4, 5, 6, 8, 3, 2.5, you can actually buy these bezels.
That's how you count.
Yes.
Where's
we
7?
Totally skipped 7. You know, because 7, 8, 9.
What's 7?
Well, it's because 7, 8, 9, so they kicked him out.
Ah! I didn't know 7 existed. I thought it was just a myth.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, when you buy those calibrated stones, they fit perfectly in here, and the way that the settings are made from Halstead, they just fold over beautifully. You guys might have seen that when we did our tube setting video. So there's a couple things there that I look for when I'm doing these tube settings.
Can I make something to put on it?
On what?
On my piece.
What else are you going to make?
I want to make some balls.
Oh, you want to make a ball? On your piece, I would not put another ball, but I promise you, listen, I promise we will make some.
What I was thinking is we could have a ball here and a ball here.
Well, you run into problems when you put stuff up against your bezel sometimes. And because this is just a beginner project, I think we're not going to do that right now.
When can I make balls?
After we're done filming. Or not at all.
But I want to show them.
Well, we can do a whole not at all. All right, tell you what, I will let you show them how to make a ball in just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, but you got to stop being a stinker. Okay. Okay, so our next step on Kiari's, we need to drill a hole behind or inside of this tube setting. And since Kate got a lot of practice of that yesterday, I am going to have Kate do that. Exactly right. So the first thing we need to do,
Try it.
well, because I'm not ready to let you use my micromotor yet. You still have a few other lessons to do. So Kiari handed me the center punch. Good job, Kiari. Now what we need, let's move these little things off of here so that they do not bounce off. Let's move our camera case. Switch our camera, please.
We don't want things running away.
That's correct. So what we're going to do is we are going to place our center punch just right inside of this. Now, if you guys can see this, and I don't know if you can or not, the flare out, that final part of the flare is just above my bezel. So I do not want to go down too much, and I don't need to. We need just a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to tap that down just a little, enough to give us a divot. I don't know if you guys can see that in the video or not.
You can't.
Not really, huh? Well, yes, you can.
You can.
There's the divot.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have a little divot on the inside of that. So Kate, I want you to get the flex shaft, I think. All right, so we need to swap out. Do you know how to swap out the item?
Unicorns and
Okay.
hearts.
Nice. We like unicorns and hearts, don't we?
South Carolina and Arizona.
South Carolina. How's the weather down there in South Carolina? Oh my gosh, our weather today right now is absolutely beautiful. I took a couple things out. I guess I went out to check the mail and I went to pull in the garbage cans. And it was 75 degrees and absolutely beautiful. I wanted to sit outside forever. So, Gordo, can we do a close-up on the brooch on my apron that I'm wearing and explain how the stone is attached? Yes, I will. It was made by a friend of mine, and I'll show that to you in just a second. But I really, really like it. It's made by a friend of mine, and she did a beautiful job. It's enamel. Okay, so what we have here, when we have a micromotor, this is our motor, okay? With a flex shaft, the motor is up there, and then you've got the long shaft that turns in the handpiece, right? And that's what makes that go. But when you have a micromotor, even though I've got a box over here, the box over there is not the motor. It's just a control box.
Kate never practiced to use that thing.
But Kate's a little bit older. She's had some more experience with tools that you haven't had yet. Remember, you're not the same age and you haven't had the same experiences. Okay, so when you have this, what we're going to do is you're just going to hold that and you just twist. I mean, it doesn't take much at all. We pull one out, we pull one in, and then to secure it, what do I need to do?
Put another one in.
No, I just need to twist to secure it because, yeah, I put the other one in, right? But now we need to secure it.
To have one in.
You do always need to have one in, and there we go. My drill bit keeps going down a little further than I like. Okay, so what I want you to do now, one of the things that you should always do is you should lubricate, okay? And on this, you don't even have to spin it or anything like that. You can just kind of tip it in here, rub it a little bit. It doesn't have to be much, all right? So go ahead and drill that hole for me.
Hey, Mommy, where did you put my safety glasses?
Your safety glasses. No, where did you put your safety glasses? You took them upstairs.
I took them upstairs and then I put them on the chair and then you grabbed them. The purple chair.
Oh, what was that?
Something that was back there.
Something on the back side. I don't know what it was. Okay, so good.
I put it on the chair and then you grabbed
Did you see what it was? Oh, you can't get to it that way. All right, so yeah, so now we have our little hole and it is really small. So what I think we ought to do is to get a larger drill bit. Okay, that's fine, we'll find it eventually.
Whatever it was.
I have no idea what it was. We'll find it. But anyway, so I would probably put a little larger hole on that.
It sounded like damn.
So let me see if, Gordo, if I can get, let's see if I can get this. There we go. Maybe.
You could have just taken the pin off.
No, I'm not taking the pin off. It's a double, it has a double back. So you can see she's just kind of done a tab setting.
What's a double
on that.
back mean?
A double back means that here on the back side,
To mess up all the big stuff.
I know. There we go. So it has two pins that go through and
mic
it connects.
sounds really weird.
Oh, I know. I apologize for the mic now. Anyway, so it just has it where it can come through. It's like trying to do this backwards. But anyway, so that's the brooch. And she was so excited when when she saw that I was like putting it front and center. But I do like it. It's beautiful, and it actually totally fits my personality, my color scheme, and everything. So hopefully that answers your question on that one.
Something that she'd wear or she'd make.
Kind of, huh? Yeah. So, all right, let me find a little larger drill bit really quick, because like I said, that one is only a 1 millimeter.
I'm glad we don't have rain and clouds.
We don't have what clouds?
Rain and clouds right now.
Lauren said she's got 40s and rain and clouds. I said I'm glad we don't have rain and clouds.
21 people watching.
Nice. All right, let me grab another drill bit, because everything that I have back here is only like 1/2 millimeter, so it went the wrong direction. We need larger. Where's... And of course now I can't find my drill bits, because why would I be able to find them when I want them? All right, so I guess we'll move on to the next phase of things, and then I will look for those as we get other things going. I have no idea where they went. That's so strange. Like my whole spinning burr container is back here where I put it naturally, because why wouldn't it be? All right, now on this one, we're actually gonna have to either use the flex shaft or a drill press. Do you know why? We can't put this in the micromotor. Do you know why? Because
Wait.
Also,
It's because the back is too big,
too small.
too small.
It's too small.
It's one of those.
how cello was going.
Oh, okay. So hang on. They asked how your cello lessons were going.
Good.
Good.
Kind of. Yesterday, we had like poor connection, and we had to call her back. Well, she called us back like 3 times, and we had poor connection, like, I don't know, like 6 times or more.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of a bad connection, wasn't it? I wonder if this will fit in here. So another thing that sometimes you can do, and I don't know if this will fit or not. Let me see. And if it will, then we can use it. Nope, it won't. So we don't. No, we don't want to use that. It'll ruin the bezel. Sometime, if my bezels are large enough, or my tube settings, I can actually use the little twist punch to come down and do that. So I don't have a flex shaft sitting right here or anything like that, but let me show you what I would do in this case. And of course, my number 30 handpiece is not here. All right, we're gonna go a different direction. We will worry about this little hole later. There's plenty of other things to do first. So
Can I make some bubbles?
no, not yet. But Kate needs to solder her little flower. Well, I guess they could be like little bubbles. So Kate needs to solder that into place. So we are going to do that instead of what we were going to do. So let's move a few things here.
We'll get doing live videos.
You know, this shows how real it all is, right?
That's why you have to.
I remember I'd walk past you when you were recording, and you keep messing up lines, and you just keep continue repeating them. She's like, and did it?
There's a lot of outtakes.
And then you'll do this.
Yeah. There are a lot of outtakes from my videos. And if you guys have ever watched, I've posted some of them too. So.
We gotta make like a, if we ever did like normal videos, like if we do those quarantine stuff that's not the live videos that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Just doing that with some of my friends during quarantine. We should do bloopers, because I guarantee we will have bloopers.
Naz, can we do this with the saw blade? You mean put the hole in? Absolutely, we could do that with a saw blade. That would not be a bad thing at all. And maybe that's what I'll do just to make it quick and easy, because I can do that fast and easy.
That's what I thought you were gonna do.
Well, and see, the reason I didn't have Kate do that is because she doesn't yet have great control of the saw blade. And so hers, she doesn't always keep the blade upright. And what happens if you tip it and you're cutting into a tube?
I'll break it.
You'll actually cut. You'll actually kind of cut
That's what I meant, I'll break
your
it.
tube. You're trying to
where it was.
there. That's okay. All right, so now we've got Kate's piece set up right here. So Kate, here's your little bubble. What do you need to do first? Let's get this camera switched here. What do you need to do first?
Take your flour.
Let's see.
Flux it.
Yeah, we need to flux your flour, right? And you also need to flux.
Take your piece and you flux.
That's right. So let's get that done. Okay. Carrie, hold on, baby. Let's see. There we go. I think that's probably pretty good to see.
Now they all go together.
There. Okay. So good. Thank you. Here's this. Here's your flux. Go ahead and get that fluxed up, and you need to make certain that you flux the bottom or the flour piece too. And don't be shy with it. Go ahead and flux the whole thing.
Why not just the area that we're...
Good question, because we're doing sterling silver. And why would I want to flux the whole thing if we're doing sterling silver?
Because if you don't, and you only flux one spot, it'll burn like mine.
It will kind of burn like yours, okay? So it'll oxidize. Good. Underside too, honey. It will oxidize, okay? And another thing that happens with silver is there's a lot of, you're totally off the camera, dude. Okay. And I would highly suggest not holding it like that because of that reason. So she was trying to hold the piece in her tweezers by the bezel. So she was holding on to the bezel with these tweezers. And as you saw, it did not work so well. So what happens in sterling silver, fine silver is like total silver. It's 99.9% silver, okay? Which means it's pure. It's a base metal, and it's really soft. What? I think you're putting your flour there. Let's see. Kiari, I need those tweezers that you have in your hands, please. Thanks. I think your flour actually went on this side right here. Okay. So in order to make the metal harder, they have to add another metal to it. That's called creating an alloy. Now an alloy is where you mix a couple metals, and in this case, it's going to make our metal harder. Okay, and that's what sterling is. So sterling is 92%, 92.5%. Okay, yeah, that's good. And we're just gonna have to dry off this flux a bit. No, don't worry about it. We'll just burn it off. It's okay. So the other 7.5% in sterling silver, do you know what it is? What other metal have we been working with? What was Kiari's piece?
Copper.
It's copper. So when you do this, that copper will oxidize, and if it oxidizes under the surface of the silver, it will create kind of like a bruise. It looks like a bruise, and it's called fire stain and fire scale. All right, so Kate, go ahead and get this torch going. And she did it all by herself, so exciting. All right, come around your piece, just kind of dry it off. It's okay if that bubbles out for right now, so go ahead and just hit it right here. Let's get this really dried up a bit. Okay, now, hold on. Go ahead and, we're gonna tip this over. Okay, and let's put our solder into place. And I'm actually gonna put two pieces here. Okay. And we're going to put our little piece back. Which way do you want it to go? Okay. All right, now go ahead and get in here and heat your piece up. Oh, there we go. Okay, there you go. And you know what? Your torch is dying. I can hear it. So let's switch to this torch. Now you're gonna have to be careful. This is a much bigger torch, a lot more heat. So just back it off a little bit. No, not too much. You don't want to be back too far. No, come here. So what you're gonna do, come in here. Now hold on, hold it with your non-dominant hand. Your pick goes in your right hand. Okay, come solder around. We're just gonna bring it around. Kiari, what phase of flux am I in?
Well, you were powdered sugar, now you're going to maple syrup.
That's right, I am going to maple syrup now. Now what's gonna happen, hold on, let's get this guy moved down here just a little bit. Always keep the torch moving, okay?
Rainbow.
All right, so now it's there. See, did you see it fall? Now what I'm gonna do, all right, I saw that flux float. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And you saw that it fell down, right? And that's also an indicator that it flowed. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they flowed in between the pieces. It just means that your solder flowed. It might have flown onto the back plate, and it might have flown only onto your balls. So it just kind of depends on how things, you know, how warm things were. And if you brought them to the temperature at the same time, then, did I just see you pull that off the board? Did I see you pull that off of the board?
What do you mean?
Did you pull it? Was it stuck on the board?
It was stuck on.
Okay, when it's stuck on the board, you never pull it off. Okay, good question. Why? Why do we not pull that off? Scoot over. So why do we not pull it off of our board? And that is because it will pull the board with it. It sticks on there. So if ever, stop it, no more water.
I want to put 2 drops on.
Anytime you have something stuck on the board, what you need to do is just heat your piece up. Why does it get stuck on the board anyway? No idea?
Ooh, I know.
Okay, why?
Because it's like all sticky and
What is sticky?
the
Yes. The flux.
Flux.
Yes, that flux is sticky. And when it dries, it gets all hard and glass-like. Okay, so it won't come off, but it does come off in the pickle. So that is one thing. So why don't you take this? And this actually went really well. Here's where you can kind of test. You can try to pull this off. And sometimes, even though you pry and pry and pry, it won't come off, but it's still not soldered yet.
What does pry mean?
What does pry mean? Good question. This is soldered well, though.
What do you mean you don't take it off the block? Like, would you put the block in the pickle?
No, you don't.
What do you?
You heat it back up, and then it softens that flux, and then you can lift it off. Okay, but yeah, that looks really good. Go ahead and go put that into the pickle. All right, Kiara, you want to try, see, now you've got my block all wet. You want to try to make some little balls? Yes? Okay, so what I want you to do,
You got me wet.
at least it's only water.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse, right? Dirty water. Okay, so this is one of my little scrap piles.
No,
I usually...
It's wet and now my pants are wet.
You're totally fine, it's just water. So anyway, this is one of the things that I keep in all of my benches or my drawers is...
That's a naughty pile.
Sometimes it's the naughty pile, but sometimes they're just scraps. All right, so sometimes I just have things
Why
that...
do you have those ear Q-tips?
I have no idea why there's a Q-tip in there.
Q-tip
Nope.
in
Yeah, I'm
there?
gonna make some.
No idea.
Q-tip.
All right, so here's a little squiggly
Ooh.
piece. And actually, I'm going to show you a couple of different
Paperclip.
things. It's
Or no,
not a
no,
paper
it looks
clip.
like a paperclip.
Good heavens, child, I can't get a word in edgewise with you. So these were links to a chain, but they are fine silver. So I'm going to show you what happens, the difference between fine silver and sterling silver.
That makes me think of candy canes.
What makes you think of candy canes?
That-
The
that
twisted wire?
Yeah.
So there's a group on Facebook where we have all been working through, no, I'm not doing that one. Leave it alone.
No, I was only going to show you.
I know, you're fine. Anyway, this group that we are working with, we all work through the projects in one of Alan Revere's books called Professional Jewelry Making. And I have quite a few videos done for the first set of the projects. We did, in just a little more than a year, we did the the first 18 projects, and there are 35 total. And we just started again April 1st and are working through it again. But now we have two groups. One group is going through the first 18 projects and the second group is going through the next series. So some of these things are, you know, my leftovers from that, and that's kind of what we have here. So Kiara, let's show these guys, let's show them how we are going to make some little balls, all right? Let me, Kate, no, my butane is right here, never mind.
I was gonna say,
So let's fill up this torch.
Grab the butane or that gas. I was gonna say, why don't you just grab that gas stuff and put it in there?
Oh, that's a great idea. So let's get this filled up. All right, which one do you think is going to give you a nice smooth ball? Any idea? Okay, ready? Okay, so what we're going to do, hold on to the torch, hold it in your left hand, because we always want to have it in your non-dominant hand, and you want to have a pick in your right hand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come right in here on this.
Ooh, I just saw it go.
Look.
Whoa.
Okay, you want to do another one?
Yeah. Whoa.
Oh, look, that one split. Here, so this one, because maybe we want them all to be the same size, and if that's the case, then we'll bring them back together and see that.
Whoa, that's cool.
Is that so fun?
I want to put them in there.
Okay, now hold on, I want to show something, and actually these are doing really well. Now you never want to quench while they are red. Do you know why?
Because I can't see. The cup proof.
What?
I can't say because you told me yesterday.
So you never want to quench them red because it
This
will
one isn't red. Can I
cause
put
a
it in?
thermal shock, yes. And that's such a good sound. I
It's
love the
stuck.
sound. Okay, so if it's stuck, what do we need to do?
That one's not.
No, this one's not stuck. So this one you could pick up and put in here.
Ooh.
Okay. No, these aren't stuck. Go ahead.
Well, they were.
There you go. It's okay.
They were kind of.
Yeah, but these weren't
Can
stuck.
I make more balls?
More balls.
Balls.
In a minute, but that's not the purpose of today's lesson. So, and all of these, did you notice that they all oxidized?
What does that mean?
They all went black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kate, here's some more. I don't know where there was one more. I don't know where it went. I think I dropped it. Anyway.
I saw one down here.
I know, I pulled it there. Okay, anyway, so here, take these and go put these in the pickle, please.
This makes me think it's a ball, but it's not.
So let me ask you something.
looks like-
Why would I make those on purpose? Why would I do
Or a
that?
design?
Yes, I use them all the time for design
I want to
elements.
make another one.
What happens if it happens on accident? You just start over?
Yes, sometimes. So, and that is probably one of the bigger things. I have a lot of balls.
Is it solder?
No, that is wire. So I have a lot of balls in the studio, and that is because things just go wrong, and
love
sometimes
the
they start to melt. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, so things start
wanna
to
make
melt a
the whole
little bit,
time.
and that is kind of an issue. Okay, so next thing we want to do is, and Kate, yours is still in the pickle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then Kiari, what's that?
Are you get it out?
You can see if it's done. I don't think that the pickle was very warm yet because I just turned it on before we started filming. So what we want to do now with Kiari's piece is, other than the fact that I still need to enlarge the little hole here underneath her tube setting, we're ready to kind of start to clean it up and kind of polish it a little bit and get that going. So one of the things that I like to do, especially when my surface was pretty good to start with, like I don't want to take this back to a really gritty bit or anything like that. Okay, so we want to just start to kind of clean this up. Let's pull this bench pin back over here, because you want to work on your bench pin. Why do we want to work on our bench pin? Do you know? Why do we want to work here with this?
Because that way, so you want to work with it, so
You know what? You're gonna need some safety goggles, baby. I don't know what we did with yours, but you are going to need a pair.
I took them
Here.
upstairs.
I know, and now we lost them.
And then I put them on the chair, and then I remember you grabbed them.
Yeah, I was going to bring them down, and I don't know what I did with them. So,
Take them out of the studio.
exactly.
It was on accident.
I know. Okay, what we're going.
Every time I have cello lessons, I always forget they're on, and once I get upstairs, it's like, oops.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to start off with a radial bristle disc. Let's see if we can get this all here. And this one happens to be, let's see, he's about 120 grit. Okay, and what we're going to do is just come in here and we want to clean up around the surface, and then we're also going to kind of see what the state of our seam is, because right now we still have the seam there, right? And we don't really want to see the seam. So yeah, kind of funny that way. So we're going to use a few different attachments to kind of clean this up a little bit. All right, so the first one we're going to do is going to be this radial disc. Make sure he doesn't fall off there. So slip this guy out, slip the new guy in. All my tools are little guys. This guy, that guy, he did this, he did that. They're all guys. Okay, so Kiara.
Girls.
Good question. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to have a couple girl tools, huh? All right, come here.
We are girls.
So I'm going to run the pedal on this, all right? And what we're going to do, and this is why I work at the bench pin. So I can put my thumb here and I can hold my piece and see how it's supported. Okay, I can get to everything, and yet I'm still controlled. Whereas if I'm here and trying to work here, one, we're off the screen, but two, yeah, you don't have the same kind of control. So you want to make certain that you do your best to kind of just come in and work around things. Now, this is going to scratch things, okay? So that's why I wanted to pick one that was a little finer. I think I'm a little too thick to get in there. So we may have to, you can even remove some of these, because right there it's kind of tight, and see how I can't get into that? You see that? Okay.
Is that gonna polish it?
It's going to start to polish it, yes. So we're going to kind of go through this phase, and then we'll go through a couple of others, and we'll use some bristle brushes to get into there that have different materials. Okay. So
hey,
now.
You made the hole.
What?
There's the hole in it.
Well, no, I didn't make that hole. That one already came in it. So what I want to do, notice, and I don't think you guys can see this here on the video very well. In this case, my little screw up here is taller than my bezel, which is a very good thing, because the last thing I need is for that bit to kind of gouge out my bezel. Now, did you notice that it kind of flipped over like that? And why did it do that? Do you know? Can you tell?
Because there's like tons of brush things there.
Yeah, these little bristles catch it, and then they flip up inside of that.
It's almost like a spider.
It is. So, matter of fact, when these came out, I always called them spider wheels.
It's almost like a spider, because if they go up into a spider trap and they don't know it, their leg will get stuck.
That's right. Oh, we've had a lot of spiders pull off their legs, huh? Poor
yeah,
things.
one time we had one that lost 4 legs, but it somehow it got out.
The ones that are stupid enough to go home.
Oh.
I know, I always feel bad for spiders, but if they come in my house,
They've signed the destiny.
yeah, they signed their own. If they stay outside, then I let them be. But if they come inside, then they're done. Okay, you all right? So we want to kind of go around the piece.
I have 2 little spiders in my spider trap, and then I have a big one by one of the little ones.
No.
So it might have been a daddy and a baby, or a mommy and a baby.
Maybe. Do you want to try to do the back side of this?
I don't know.
Okay, so here, I'll help you. No, hold on to it. There you go. And what you're going to do is we're going to use your thumb on here, because see this? You can, let's see, we'll show these guys what we're doing here. Let's zoom out just a little bit. By holding it like this and putting your thumb here, now you can kind of rotate this with your hands. See that? So by doing that now, and keep your thumb flexible, okay? Maybe put your thumb here. So that way we can come in like this.
Whoa.
See that?
Yeah. That's cool.
Isn't that nice?
It makes it all kind of...
Makes it kind of shiny.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what do you think?
Good.
It's not too bad, huh? You do it now.
Okay.
See if you can do this. So, yeah, you just need to kind of stabilize this. Now, hold on. You've got to hold on to your piece too, right? So hold your piece down here. There you go. Use a couple fingers. And now you're going to kind of polish right in here. Polish that part right there. Think you can do that?
I think.
So Janet, your husband walked by and wondered what you were watching. You showed him the unicorn necklace you made. Oh, that's too awesome. I'm so glad. I'm glad that he got to see it. You ready? Okay. Nice job, Kiari. Okay, make sure you get up there. Good job.
Wait.
Oh, we need a little more?
Yeah.
See, and see how it catches and it kind of pulls it off? Kind of weird, huh?
Is that good?
I think that is very good. Matter of fact, you know what? And see, you went over this? And it smooths that down a little bit where we had that little hole kind of come out. Okay. Did you know you could actually come inside of this too? It can be a little bit more tricky, but you can come in. Maybe you'll have to watch that part on the screen since it's kind of hidden for you. But you can come inside of this. Why would I want to come inside and clean this up?
Because it's not shiny like the rest of it?
Nobody's going to see it.
You guys find out?
Yeah, I always try to make it nice everywhere. Okay. All right, Kiari, what do you think?
Ooh.
You did a good job, sweetie. Okay, so the next thing that we would do, because we've now got a fairly even surface, we were not able to get into this, but now what we're going to do is we're going to swap out the type of bristle brush that we are using, and we'll use it with
Ooh, that's cool.
a couple different compounds.
That's cool.
Let me pull over a couple. Hang on. So, all right. So we have a couple of bristle brushes. Let me grab a couple that are clean that have not been used yet because, and I also
Those ones
want.
will make it all dirty.
Well, they're all going to make it dirty. As a matter of fact, you guys need your masks. Do you remember where you put your mask? And then there's a mask down there. So you're going to need your mask because we're going to do a little bit of polishing. Okay. Woo. Knocking down a torch, dude. Okay. So, is that one your mask, Kiari? Is that one yours?
I don't think it was.
Or is that one Kate's? I don't know what happened to yours. Yours was like a cloth one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Kate, today I bought some masks. Run upstairs and go grab one from that bag, please. Okay?
Because mine wasn't like this and it didn't have this thing.
Yeah, I think that one's Kate's. So, I guess we'll grab masks and stuff like that. You know, for as much as you try to plan and have everything ready, this is just how it goes. Because of course, nothing is ever where you want it. I don't know, maybe you guys are better at that than I am. Glenda, teaching Kiari how to do this stuff is so much fun because she's like, oh, did you see this? Ooh, I like that. Oh, that's neat.
What?
You and your reactions to everything, like how you react and how you get excited. We think it's fun. We like it. Don't be a goober. Okay, I'm gonna grab my mask so you entertain them and be nice. Don't be a weirdo. Okay, now you're being a weirdo. All right, let me grab a couple things. You dancing for them all?
No.
Are you sure? You're such a goober. Okay, now you're just a weirdo. Okay, so I have a couple of masks and one is now in my purse because if I go out, I have to have that mask. So grabbed my other one. So what I'm going to do, and these bits that I'm using, or the burrs, or the flowers,
They don't look as
flowers,
that one looks
brushes.
fuzzy. Those ones don't.
Do you know what? These two right here are the same one.
Are they fuzzy?
Kind of feel them. They're all different, okay? So you can get these types of brushes where they're totally round.
This one's kind of pokey, and so is this one.
Yep, these are a little bit more aggressive, right? Because of the way, the type of hair that they are. Some of them, the black one comes from a horse.
Oh, this one feels nice.
And then the white one, I believe, comes from, well, there's a couple of them. There's a white and a black horsehair, and then there's also white and brown goat hair. So these two, the
Goat
softer
hair
ones.
Softer.
Yes, these two are goat, and they are softer.
Did they
And-
kill the goat in order to
Thank
get
you.
the hairs?
They did not.
What did they do?
They go and give the goat a haircut. I don't know, honey. So anyway, we'll have to find that out. We'll have to contact our people who make these brushes, and we'll find out how they get the hair. That's a good idea. Okay, so anyway, these come in different shapes, different sizes. Yeah, so there is round
Which way do you put it on?
with the white side next to you.
So on your face?
Yes, and there is, yep, so, and there's a little, see how it bends a little bit up here?
So the
That
white
part
one
goes
goes
on your
on your
nose. Yeah. All right, so these they come in all different sizes, they come in different shapes. I like these that have kind of the star shapes because they can get into little tight things, but they also help disperse the heat. So that's kind of fun. I like that. And then, we have a couple of different compounds. Now, you guys know that I've been working with Fordham and doing their videos, and we're getting ready to do a whole polishing series. Yes, we've been doing a whole polishing series. So what we have here, actually it goes in this order. So if you were to work through these particular items, and you don't have to, I mean, there's so many polishing compounds out there, but you want to start with Tripoli. Tripoli is going to be kind of a cutting compound, which will help remove scratches. It'll help blend the surface and stuff like that. Yes?
You know how we had, when I had strip sew, you know how we had those,
Had a mask?
those little ones?
Yes, but I don't know where they are.
I remember, so I had one of them, and the other one, I think we might have put in your purse,
I don't know.
or it was, or
Honey,
I put it.
I'm talking about polishing compounds. Stay on task.
Or maybe it's
Okay, so we do a Tripoli.
Alright.
The Tripoli is going to be kind of your first stage after you have things ready to, you've got a nice even surface, you've kind of sanded and worked that way. So then after Tripoli, then we go to a platinum blue. And this is going to be kind of a pre-polishing. And this is going to, these are really meant for, these are great not only for platinum, but also for all kinds of materials. You can even do it on some of the acrylics. So you can use it on multiple things. But anyway, so then we go to a platinum blue, and that's a pre-polish. And then if you want a really high finish, which I don't believe we are going to do on here, we might, we'll see. Then you would go to the platinum white. Now, anytime you use any compound, they must have their own burr, okay, or their own buff. You never want to use this. So this one has been used in platinum white. I do not want to put this in the platinum blue, okay? That's because you're going to contaminate if you do, it's called cross-contamination, okay? So you would end up contaminating that if you were to mix them, okay? And then all of a sudden, this one no longer is a fine polish, but now a pre-polish. Does that make any sense? Does that fit you a little better? I think just doing one, Kate, worked for her. Good job, thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to get into that little crevice, and we've also already done kind of that pre-surface prep. I don't know if you, can you even see out? Okay, that's the worst part of having to wear safety goggles and a mask. Is that you fog up. That's too funny. Okay, so Kiara is now learning. She's learning like how difficult it is, aren't you?
It's funny.
Well, maybe you're not going to be able to do anything because you're not going to be able to see. Well, now you're just trying to do it, Dingling. Okay. Can you see a little bit? Nope, not every time you breathe, huh? So what I do when that happens is I'll just pull my glasses out just a little bit further. I don't know if any of you guys have had that problem. So Felix, you have Fordham's Emery and White Diamond. Yes, the Emery is a great one. Very, very aggressive at removing and kind of gritty. So that one's going to be great for removing rust and harder scratches, your solder, anything like that. So it's a really good one. Now it's more aggressive, but it's not going to be as aggressive as like sandpaper. So it's kind of good to have that way as well. Oh yeah, and I think that the compounds are quite reasonably priced, and they will come in different sizes. So you can order like a bar like this. I think there's one that might be actually a little bit larger. And then depending on what you order, sometimes it will come in a little tube like this. And you guys, you don't use that much, so they last forever. So that one is Tripoli. Okay, so that is the same one. It's the same one, but I already had this one open.
Is that like the white stuff that you put on all your stuff?
Yes. Yeah, so this is the first step,
Is it
though.
like that?
No, that one is, so she's asking about the lubricant.
Like is it like,
It's like this one.
This.
no, like is it like where you grab your tool and then you
Yes.
rub it on?
Yes.
Like that's what it meant.
This smells like Cheerios. Oh. That smells like Cheerios? Well, I don't know why. It's a brand new clean mask.
I like Cheerios.
It looks so
Here you go.
soft. I want to try one of those
I
ones.
like this one.
You do or don't?
Oh, yeah.
Here, do you want to wear this one? You can give her that one. You wear this one. I don't care. You two just need a mask. I don't care who wears what. You need a mask. You pick. Fine. You take this one. You take this one.
Okay. Cute.
Okay, so this one looks, you guys look at this. You know how like everybody's been doing like the whole mask thing, and like some of them will show how to use a bra? That's what this one looks like on her. It's like gigantic. Yeah, we need to maybe have Grandma make you a little mask or something. How's that?
It's so soft. It's
How's
so
that?
good.
That good? Okay,
What's up with the string down there?
it's so that you can do it like that. How's that?
Good.
You good? You're not fogging up? Okay, all right. So what we need to do now, I need to put my mask on,
If I move my head down, kind of.
and let's come down to this camera.
You can't really. You sound like you.
I know, now I'm all muffled, huh? Okay,
Kind of.
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna swap out our piece. I'm gonna put in one that is, oh, let's see, let's go soft. We'll go a little soft. Yeah, we'll do this one. So we'll do this one. And what we want to do is we'll put our glasses on. Why are you all the way over there, Kate?
This isn't a good mask.
Yes, it is. It's an N95 mask.
Not for this stuff.
Yeah, it is. It filters out the same particulates. You'd be fine. Okay, so what we do is we just run that in there.
What's this thing? Does it let me, like, what does this do? The white.
It's a filter.
What's the filter do?
It keeps bad particles out. So you see how like when I do this, you see how like there's things flying around? That is why we wear our goggles, and that is why we wear a mask. Okay, so, and see how I hold this? See that? And then I rest my thumb here so that I can kind of come in here and work. Notice that our little star parts are getting black. Why are they black? It's not the compound, it's because it's mixing with the dirt and stuff like that from here, right? And so, do you see though? Look at this. See where we did with just the other brush, and now can you see where I've gone over with the polishing compound? And look, we are able to get into this little part right here as well. Now I have to be careful because this part does hit my bezel just slightly. So I do need to be careful of that. Now the other thing too about this kind of a brush, it does not hold your compound for long. So you will need to kind of touch it, come back out and polish a little bit, touch it again, come back and polish some more. Okay?
It sounds like a bee.
Oh yeah? It does kind of, huh?
When you did that, it sounded like a bee.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now here, I want you to see that my bezel, I still have the seam. All right, and I want to address that. And one of the things that I like to do for that is I have these little wheels. Now this one is kind of used up quite a bit, so it's much smaller. It normally starts out, yeah, it starts out a lot bigger. But what this does, oh, it's just gonna roll away. But what this will do is it kind of erases that seam. Okay, it's just gonna sand it down. Watch. Okay, so you see how you can see the seam right now? See that? Okay, now watch it on the video because it's gonna be at the wrong angle for you. But if you watch it on the video, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna come in here and just kind of rub across it. And it's just going to remove and smooth out that seam so that we don't see it anymore. See that? See? Okay, so it's still there just a little bit, but...
Your fingers are black.
I know, my fingers are black now. Oh, that looks much, much better. And now you can't really see the seam. Okay, so what we do, anytime we go from one polishing compound to another, we need to clean off our piece. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to this one just real quick. Let me dust this off. Okay, so I am going to come back on here and we're just gonna pre-polish, kind of make sure everything is looking good. See how I hold this up against my bench pin? You see how everything is supported, like right here? See how I do that? That's very important because it allows you or gives you some stability. Okay.
What happens if you accidentally hit yourself with the thing?
Give me your finger. Did it hurt?
Black.
Here.
Black.
Yeah, it's gonna make your finger black, but does it hurt?
Feels nice. Feels like it's massaging my fingers.
It feels like it's massaging.
Feels like my fingers are sleepy.
Okay. So, Kate, will you please take this over to the sink? And now what I need you to do with it is I need you to run it under some hot water. There's some Dawn dish soap over there and a toothbrush, and just clean that up, okay? Thank you. Okay. All right, so, and then check your piece in the pickle because it should be done and we should be ready to do yours next. All right, so as you guys can see, I mean, there's quite a process involved in this. Now, I usually will take this all the way through the polishing phase before I set my stones. There are other people who will set their stone and then do the polishing. And I think it's just kind of a personal preference. There was an article recently on that, and I never got to read that. I'll have to go back and find that to just kind of see why some people do one over the other. But like I said, I think it's mostly just kind of a personal preference. Now, here's the kicker. Sometimes your polishing on a piece can take you longer than it took to make the piece. Okay, and that is going to be for people who really want that beautiful mirror shine or that perfection of a finish. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm that worried about the perfection of my finish. I'm getting much better, but it kills me when a piece takes me forever to polish, and it is not uncommon for a piece to take an hour just to go through the polishing phases. Okay. The other thing that you can have too is you can do an ultrasonic cleaner, and it doesn't even have to be a big one. Okay, but an ultrasonic cleaner, what you would do is make sure that it's nice and warm, and inside of that there's different solutions that you can have, but I have ammonia in mine. Actually, right now I don't. I actually have an actual ultrasonic cleaner in there. But what some people will do is they will just put some ammonia. Well, you got your water, your ammonia, and then you put a couple drops of Dawn dish soap, and that dish soap is going to help to cut out that grease and work alongside with the cleaning properties of the ammonia. I think I used like half a cup of ammonia in there is all that I did, and like I said, just a couple of drops of dish soap. And you get the ultrasonic, and what that does is it's going to shake and vibrate your piece, and it's going to knock those particles off. And it works the best when your water in there is really hot. So if you can have an ultrasonic that is heated, that's even better. Okay, so there's a number of things there. Good job. And see, you're not fogging up anymore.
Is this supposed to be sticking out like that?
Yeah, it's okay. It's because you've got such a skinny little face.
Because when I have, because this.
Yeah, but you're still touching up here. You're okay.
Phone.
Yep, you're okay. So have you ever seen a jeweler's hands?
Yes. You know, if a
Other than mine?
You know, if a person's a jeweler because their hands are dirty.
That's right.
You know, if a person's
okay, that turned out great.
Hands are covered in flour. And you know, if a person is a painter, if their hands are covered in paint.
That's right. Now, another option that people will do.
Covered in watercolor pencil.
Yeah, watercolor pencil. You should come be in the video, dude. So another thing that people like to do, especially when they're first just beginning and everything like that, they'll take this and throw this in the tumbler. When I first started, that's what I had. I had a flex shaft, but I didn't know how to use it really for polishing or anything like that. And I didn't have all the accessories or the compounds. So I had a tumbler. I have a rotary tumbler, which is a Lord-Tone, and it comes with stainless steel shot. And the stainless steel shot that I like has all the different shapes. And the reason that it has different shapes is so that it can get into different crevices or crannies and nooks and whatever else. So if we wanted to, we could take this and throw this into a tumbler. By throwing it into a tumbler, what does it do? Does it actually polish your piece? What do you think? What does it do? You said no because I asked that question. Right? Because you didn't really know that that's not what it did.
No, I just don't think it helps.
Okay, what do you think it does to it?
I don't know, maybe it like scratches.
It doesn't scratch it. Remember, okay, so remember we now have that little fuzzy look to it. Okay.
What is that?
It does, but do you know how? It's through a process of what we call burnishing. Now, in the case of a tumbler, all those little pins, because it's going to sit in there, why don't you bring the tumbler over? Do you know where it is? It's over by my computer desk on the bottom. It's in the soldering bench over there. Wait, you don't know which one? Because there's a couple of them over there. Bring me the smaller one, the smaller blue one. So anyway, it's just down in the bottom cube. Okay. So the tumblers are great because what they do is all those little pins are going to come in and they're going to kind of hammer up against your metal. Okay, and what that does is it burnishes it. Okay, so now some people will put a piece in their tumbler for like overnight. You could put it in for 15 minutes, you could put it in for a couple of hours, whatever the case might be. Now the Lord-Tone tumblers, they turn on as soon as you plug them in. So there's not an on-off switch on these. All right, so we'll put that there for a sec till we're ready to do that. So let's try tumbling yours and see what we end up with. Okay, so let me show you guys this. Let's zoom this camera out real quick so you guys can see what we're doing. Move that one there.
Is it possible that it might ruin your piece though?
Not this one. This one is not going to do any damage to. All right, so in my tumbler here, there we go, pull it out. You'll notice that I already have...
Why does it have water in there?
It has water, and does it already have my... Okay, it does not have my compound in there yet.
What's a compound?
So the compound, go ahead and put your piece in there, Kate. So you need to have some kind of a burnishing compound, whether that is just a couple of drops of soap, or I use a compound that is made by Rio. All right, and I've had this thing forever, you guys.
And you're only, what, almost half?
Yeah, I'm about half, yeah. Yeah, and I've had it forever.
What's the white stuff in it?
Where? Oh, just the bottom. It's just the discoloration of the thing. All right.
Yeah, I saw
Ah, my lid is stuck. Holy cow.
You have it forever, you don't use it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, good heavens. Well, oh, there we go. Okay. So all I need on this is just a capful. It doesn't take much at all. If I were to put Dawn dish soap in, I would definitely not put that much in there. Why?
Because you're adding another component?
No, because you can use Dawn dish soap instead of that.
Oh.
But why would I only use just a couple of drops of the soap? And your piece is in here now? You know what, where's mine? We'll throw mine in there too. Whoop.
Ah!
Splashed out on you. So the reason I wouldn't want to put too much soap, think about what happens when you shake up, what happened when you cleaned out the blender the other day. Yes, it goes all fizzy and you get tons of bubbles, huh?
Almost like our toothpaste. Like when we,
Did your toothpaste go bubbly?
yeah, because with the toothbrush, it makes it all like foamy.
Okay, so now we're gonna put this in here. Now we need to plug it in. Oh, do we have a free plug? Oh, we don't have a plug available right there.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, it's kind of covered because
Yeah, I know it's covered because of the iPad. Unplug this for me, please. Thank you.
iPad is dying.
Okay.
Before.
Now, my tumbler needs a little bit of help getting started. There it goes. He's just being kind of difficult. There we go. So my barrel is kind of gotten slick lately.
What does
All right.
that mean?
See how it's getting kind of like, the motor part is turning, so it's turning these little spindles down here, which helps this to spin. Okay, but mine is a little old. I probably need to replace my belt too. It's because I don't use my tumbler anymore, really. What?
This or this?
You could take off your mask, sweetie. So this whole thing is old. Okay, the whole thing is old, and it just needs to be lubricated, and it needs a new belt, and then it'll work a little bit better. But now that things are kind of going, and once you get that kind of a motion going with the tumbler anyway, it will. I'm so discombobulated now. But anyway, once it gets going, then you've got the whole motion, and the shot is going to tumble around and around and around. Now, we can leave this in here for about 15 minutes or so, and that will kind of polish things up.
Is this popped out like that?
Yes, it is. You're fine. All right, so Kiari.
I like the way that this is all cushioned. So does this need to be replaced or this?
No, a belt inside of this. There's a little belt in here that runs with the motor, and that's what makes this turn, and that needs to be replaced. All right, so Kate, let's put this down here on the floor so that we can continue to work. All right, we'll just sit that down there for a sec, and we'll let that do its thing. All right, so Kiari, on yours.
Why don't you use the tumblers anymore?
Because I polish my stuff differently now. Oh, now here's a question for everybody. So when you hammer on something, what happens to it?
It stretches it out.
Okay, it can texture it, it can stretch it. Does it become harder or softer?
Harder.
It becomes much harder, right? So what do you think is going to happen with this? A lot of people think that it will become harder.
Or will it stay the same?
In this case, it will actually stay about the same. There is a little bit of hardening that happens, but it is like micro, nanometer things. You know, it is not very thick at all. And so this is not an ideal way to harden your stuff, because a lot of people will say, well, I'll make some ear wires and I'll throw them in the tumbler overnight. And yes, there will be a little bit of hardening that happens,
In there
but not much.
a year, and maybe they'll be hard enough.
Okay, maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a year. So it's just not enough to really harden that the way you want it. So Kiari, on your piece, we have to test our stone. Okay?
I thought you said never test your stone.
But we have a hole in it.
Oh.
So now that we've got a hole, now we can test our stone without any problem. Now, when I put this in here, I don't know if you guys can see this on the video or not. Let me zoom in a little bit. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of space there, right? In between your stone.
You can see it.
Yeah. So what needs to happen is we need to lift your stone up. Okay? So we are going to create, and we're just going to pop this guy back out. Whoop. And I'll set him down there for a second. You're okay.
I thought you said
we've done all this work.
Yeah, your glass isn't going to break. It's okay. Thankfully, that one's a really nice, sturdy piece.
She's like, we've done all this work. We don't want to break.
We do not want to break it. So what I'm going to do is we need to lift this stone up. Okay, now I think we need more than this as well. This is only 20 gauge wire. I think we need something a little bit thicker than that, and I had a wire here. Here we go. This one is 18 gauge. Now this is fine silver, and that's fine too. It doesn't matter if it's copper or if it's
fine silver,
fine
and
silver.
that's fine too.
Yeah, that's fine too. Ooh, here's some. Let's try this. I want to show you this one because this is going to be too much. But I want to show you how to work with that. Because sometimes you don't have the right metal to do this. So what we're going to do is let's take this and we are going to lift it up. So first thing I need to do is I'm going to make it so that it sits inside of our bezel.
It almost looks like a ring
Almost,
when you do that.
Yep, kind of. And I don't
Why
even...
does it have that squishy thing on it?
Just to protect my wire. Okay, so I need it a little bit tighter. Yeah. Okay, so we just need to come a little bit tighter here. There we go.
That's
okay. There. Now, see that?
I remember when you had one of these over there. One
Okay.
was over there, and it was like nighttime, I think.
Yeah. All right.
I remember.
So now I've just slipped that in there. I'm not even going to solder it.
I like the way it feels.
Yeah.
What, like that what are they?
The tumbler.
Pokey thing. The round and.
Okay. So Kiari, look at my wire now, or look at my piece. Does it fit? Is it too tall? So what I would need to find. Remember when we talked first day, we said that our bezel walls.
That could fall out if
I think it
goes
could still.
bonk.
I think it still could. So we have our bezel walls and we want to bring it in just a little bit with the curve of that stone. In this case, her walls are not yet curving in when we hit the top of the bezel. So our curve is starting above it. So right now, I just used a 14 gauge wire.
almost looks
It's
like-
too thick.
It almost looks like it's like a papery thing that's pink.
Yeah.
And then it looks like somebody put a water drop over it. Because
It
when
does look like
when
that.
When you put water, or it's that, what is it called? That stuff that Kate used
Yeah.
on the necklace.
I need my hammer. Here it is. Okay, so we need our planishing hammer. And what we are going to do, we're going to hammer this down just a little bit. Okay, so we need to change our camera. We'll just move our camera here. There you go. So we're just going to hammer this down a little bit. And just see if
It's not on the
flattening
right
it.
camera.
Is it not? Oh, you're right. It's not on the right camera. Thank you. Okay, now we're on the right camera. Okay, so now what I've done is I've compressed it a little bit. And we've made it a little bit thinner from top to bottom. Ow, I got my finger.
Careful.
I know, dang it. All right. And let's see if it fits inside. And now I kind of widened it out too much, so we're going to trim off some of this.
Isn't that too much?
No.
Because I didn't.
It doesn't have to be a perfect fit. We just need it to fit inside of here is all.
Mommy?
What? What? No, it's fine.
It's making it weird.
It's okay. It's just because it's running up against it. It's fine. All right, so now what we're going to do See there. All right,
red.
now look. Now, look at that. Do you see how
Yeah.
now we actually have something to push over our stone?
What does that mean?
So we have some material that can push over. So you see how if I look here at the edge, I can actually kind of see a little bit of a lip, like a little bit of that start or part there. Hang on just a second, let me pop this out. We need to arrange your stone so that we can start to, oh, for crying out loud. Don't put it on the floor. Oh, you almost stepped on it, baby.
I felt something bumpy.
Yeah, I know, you know. Okay. It doesn't help to put it on the floor. Now,
See?
with this in here, I think we're on the right camera. Which camera are we on? Here we go.
I think you might have chipped the paint.
No, I did not. It's okay. So notice that I haven't soldered it in here. Okay, it's just sitting there. Of course, it's not going to focus. Why would it do that? No, it didn't. That's just how the stone has been.
No.
So, honey, what I need you to do is I need you to put that into position.
What's that?
Okay, and I need you to put it how it's going to be.
Where? Put this
Okay.
here?
Yes, how do you want that to face? I think what we ought to do is make it so that this part here where the
Black
foil comes up, I think we should put that towards the bottom of our piece.
Yeah, that made me think of pink shiny.
Okay, what do you think? Like
pink
that?
shiny stuff.
You like that?
I don't know, whatever you think is best.
What do you think? Do you like that? So we'll show our friends at home. They can see what it looks like. All right, so this is what we're going to start with. Now, when we go to, and of course it was on the wrong camera again, you know, I'm just done for the day. Okay, so now we have our stone into place. My bezel comes up just barely beyond where that arc of our stone is. And so now what we need to do is we need to bring that metal down into the arc of our stone. And there's a number of different tools that you can use for doing this. I mean, you can do a hammer and a punch and actually hammer it down. And I will show you once we get ready to do mine. I'll use the hammer hand piece and I will set mine that way. But it looks like that's going to end up being tomorrow because it's already been an hour. So anyway,
Yes?
yeah. So I'll show you that
15
tomorrow. An hour and 15 minutes, I know.
Doesn't even
So
feel like
one of
that
my
long.
friends, Will Cobb, is a tool maker, and he has come up with this little bezel pusher. And on the end of it is a little metal nib, or whatever you would call it, for the pusher. And it is an alloy of silver and gold, I believe, that he makes for this. It makes it extremely strong and sturdy. And then he uses these little pool balls which allow it to sit just perfectly in your hand so that when you come in, you can push with the palm of your hand.
Pool balls, the things that they use when they like play games and they have like those stick things.
The stick things?
And
Yes,
then they
the
try
pool.
to get into the pool.
Yes. Yeah, it is that is. And these are little tiny ones. So let's get this other camera back zoomed in here so we can show these guys
Keeps
what we're doing.
that. It keeps moving
Yes.
forward.
Okay. So hopefully you guys can see here. Now, when we go to do this, Kate or Kiara, you know what your directions are, right? I saw them on your English paper today.
What?
What would this be?
What English paper?
Like, okay, so your Mrs. Durling stuff. Okay, if you're looking at a map, what is this? There's the four.
North, east, south, and west.
North, east, south, and west. And what we want to do is we want to work in that same pattern. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to push it and see how it created like a little divot or a bump right there? Can you see that right there on the side? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Glenda. I give up.
I can't even see it.
Okay, but you see how it's kind of bumped in right there now? See that right there? Right there, it bumps in.
Oh.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come on the opposite side. And I skipped over it, and that can damage your stone. In your case, it's not going to because it's glass and it's hard, and this is softer than your stone. In this case, glass. And then we're going to come down to the south, and we'll come to the north. Okay, So you see how it kind of creates those little bumps? Now what we do is now we're gonna kind of go in between them. All right, so if I come here, where do I have to go next? If I just did this one here, where do I go next?
Isn't that like
This one is north, well,
north or like so it's kind of northwest?
that is northwest.
I think
So you have to do the opposite. What is the opposite of northwest?
Southwest?
Southeast.
East?
So now I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna push it down here. Now where do I need to go?
Northeast?
Northeast. And now where? Opposite direction.
West, west, south,
Southwest.
or southwest. I don't know which way you say it.
Okay, so now, hopefully you guys can see this. You guys can see all these little ripples, I hope, right?
Yeah, you can.
Good. So what we want to do now is we're going to come back in and we're going to push on all of those little air pockets. Okay, but each time I want to go in the opposite place, right? So if I come up here, then I need to come around and do the opposite side. Okay? And then once I have enough of it done, then we can just start to kind of push around. But I want to get the big spots first. Okay, so
It likes to do that.
It does. So yeah, so now you guys can start to see that it's starting to smooth out a little bit. Once we have that, then I'm just going to work and kind of overlap. And hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let's see if I do that way. Okay, and I'm pushing down kind of at a 45-degree angle. And notice that my finger is right here, see that? And then I put my finger right there so that I am working very close to my stone. See that? And that allows me to give it maximum pressure and still keep things stabilized.
See what?
So see how my finger is right here? And I keep it really close? Yeah, and I keep it really, really close by right here.
You get a dent in your finger because of doing
I did get a dent in my finger from kind of holding on to things tight. Yep. Okay, so now we're almost done going around this. All right. Kiara, I'm going to have you do this next part. All right, so now what you want to do is you want to just kind of look at your stone. You'll pick it up and you'll look at it and you'll just see, are there any little holes or bubbles that still need to be filled in? And if there are, then you just come back in and you push it down again. And again, like I said, I like to come in here and just start, and you just lay it down, move to the next, lay it down, move it to the next, lay it down. And then once I've got this all done, so look at that, does that look smooth to you?
Not really.
Not really?
It kind of looks like just a bit.
There's still a little bit of a bumpiness to it, huh? So now what we do is we use another tool, and this is called a burnisher. Now I'm actually going to grab a different burnisher for you to use because the one that we have right here has a really sharp point.
And
Okay?
the ball might be too big, maybe?
Maybe, but what I like to do here is come in and I'm just going to rub this down like so. And now look at that little section. Do you see it? See how shiny that is right there? And it's smooth. I don't know if that shows up well on this video or not. But anyway.
You know, the heart's a bit bumpy.
The heart is a bit bumpy.
Right there.
Yeah, it is a little bit bumpy. Do you know why that heart is bumpy? Because we rolled it through the rolling mill and it had some pattern that came out to the edges. Okay, so here, do you want to try this? But you got to do it right here. Here. Do it right here. Now be very careful because that point is sharp. I'm going to go grab a different one for you to try. Yes, and matter of fact, you don't even have to, you don't touch the stone or anything. Okay, now hold on, because we've got to hold it right. So here, this one will be a little easier for you to hold. Here, hang on. Okay, so I have a different one here that has a handle. This is a curved burnisher. This one has a 1.5 inch rod on it that is curved. And when I use this one, I use it 2 different ways. Sometimes you can put your finger here in the curve, or sometimes I'll put my finger out here on the outside. Let me show you guys what this will look like. Let's get you back into position. Okay, let's pull you out just a little bit. So when I'm doing this, again, I'm going to put myself stabilize myself somehow, whether I'm against a table or whatever else. So here, I'm going to work with my finger inside of this curve. I put my top of my finger on my stone, and then I can work against it like so.
Ooh.
See how shiny that makes that? You see that?
It has some scratches.
Yep, there's still some scratches, and so we'll have to go back and hit that with a polish afterwards. But what happens is this comes in and it lays your metal down and makes it super soft, and not soft, but it makes it have a really smooth, smooth and shiny. Okay, look, right there, can you see how it looks kind of has a bubble a bit?
Yeah.
And you come into this and it'll push it right down. Yes, you can try it. So see how I'm holding this? See that?
Like.
Yes, yes, except your finger needs to come underneath here, okay? And then you're gonna hold your piece and you're gonna push really hard. Now you have to be really careful because, again, we have a point here and it will scratch your metal if you're not careful. But you come in just like that and see if you can do it. Hold on to your piece. Come here, I'll help you hold your... So go ahead and hold on to your piece. Okay. We need to move that camera out a little bit. And then you're just going to come. Good job. Oh, that looks great. And see how you can feel the bumps? Feel how it's bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Feel that? And then see how the bumps go away? And then it becomes smooth. Right? Now turn it around. So let's move it to the next area.
Ow.
Sorry. Okay, and you're just going to keep doing that. Good. Now another thing that you can do, hold on, let me show you. Another thing you can do is like this, where you kind of bring it out this way. Oh, we've got to hold it in the right place. Here we go. So you can bring it out here so that the curved part is up against your stone like that. Okay, and notice that we're not really even up against our stone, right? Here, let's move this bench pin so you can get into here. Okay, bring your arm up. There you go. There you go. And then you can just rub it along like this. Okay, see if you can do that. It's kind of hard, huh? It's a little bit slick. Good. So it takes some practice, all right? And it definitely takes a while to learn this. And I guarantee you will scratch your stone. I guarantee you're gonna scratch your back plate. It just happens. It's part of the learning process. Part of what will help it so that you don't scratch your stone is that you don't have really sharp and hard pointed tools.
There's still some bumps.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. We'll get it in just a sec. So what I've done with this is I've actually put a nice high polish on it. Why would I polish this tool, Kiari? Do you know? Why would I want this tool polished?
So,
What do you think?
That way.
Because if it was scratched up there, we'll put scratches on
Yes, it will. Whatever surface I have on here is going to impart onto my piece. So if I have scratches and crap on here, I'm going to have scratches and crap on my bezel, and we definitely don't want that. So you want to have a nice high polished burnisher when you go to do the burnishing. Now, contrary to that, when I have my pusher, I don't want this to be high polished. Why? It will slide too easy. So if I have like maybe a 400 grit type of a surface on here, so if I just take this and hit it with a 400 grit sandpaper, it's not high polished, but it's clean because we don't want any pits or anything like that, because that again will impart onto our piece. But if it's high polished, it's gonna slip, all right? And that's where you really end up hitting your back plate or your stones or things like that. All right, what do you think, Kiari? It's coming along. You've got a bezel set stone now, right? Okay, so another thing too, and it's nice to have these points. Let me show them one thing real quick. Now be careful because you don't want to scratch it. So another thing too is when you take these points, you can set it right up against your stone and kind of up along that front edge of your bezel. Let's see if we can get this onto our video here. See this where we're at? Yeah. Okay, so I can put this here and just kind of run along my bezel like so, and that will burnish the edge, that front edge of my piece. Oh, Gordo, good point. So Gordo said...
Good point.
Oh, that's so punny. So Gordo says burnishing too much can stretch your metal and result in loosening the stone. And that is very, very true. So you only want to go just to the point where you've got your polish and you've got things laid down nice and smooth. So Janet, yes, I was using the pointed end towards the work. In this case, when I'm trying to burnish that front edge. Now, once you get going and you become more proficient at some of this, then we would actually take a graver in here and we would clean that out and do what's called a bright cut. Not enough for what? Oh, we're trying to do a heart. So, all right. So I think what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and call it a day for today. We now have, hang on just a second, we have Kiari's piece she has a bezel in it now. So we're good there. We need to still drill out our hole for our tube setting.
And we need to take out the balls. We need to take the balls out of the
pickle?
Pickle.
Yeah. We'll take those out of the pickle. So there's the rest of your balls that you could have, right? Anyway, okay, we'll make some more. So anyway, tomorrow what we'll do is we'll look and see what these look like that have been in the tumbler. We'll look at those. We'll get Kate's piece finished up. She needs to insert her tube rivet to line her hole that she wants to use for the bail. So we need to get that done, and we need to get your piece polished up and your stone set. And then we will get my stone set, and I'll show you how I'm going to use like these little teardrops that Kate set the tube setting. So if I don't drop them all over the place. I know, fly away. Hey, you guys, so I want to thank you guys all for being here. We're consistent with how many people are here, and that tells me that you guys are sticking with us, and I really, really appreciate that. So if you guys haven't already, yeah, 20, somebody just logged off.
31 minutes. Oh.
Yep, it's okay, people log off.
What do you mean?
What?
We still have 22 people.
Oh, good. Well, we were up to 23, but it's okay. But anyway, so I wanted to say thank you. And if you guys haven't already, please subscribe.
We've been doing this for 23.
Please subscribe.
And 31 minutes.
Ring the bell for the notifications. And the best way that you guys can really help me, and if you guys will help me grow this channel, would be to share this, all right? And come back and leave a comment. Let us know if you like it. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Tell me that as well. So tell me what you think could be done different. Keep in mind that these are live videos, and sometimes anything goes, as you guys have seen already. So anyway, Tracy, welcome, just as we're getting ready to be all done. And then Kate, yes, Kate did some great soldering, and I'm kind of excited to see how Kate's piece comes along and turns out. So we still have a few more steps to do, but I think we should be able to finish it up tomorrow. I may go through some of the pre-polishing phase with Kate on her piece so that we have that part of it ready, and then we'll just be ready to finish up. What do you think?
Okay, we've been doing this for 1 hour and 32 minutes and 18 seconds, 19. Yes. Keeps going on.
So, not quite. Not quite. Oh, I think it looks great. All right, you guys, I think we'll call it there. She still has a lot of homework to do, so does she. And I have a couple videos that need to get made.
We should have one more big one.
Yep. All right. We will see you guys tomorrow, 1:45 Mountain Time here. Like I said, please share it. Let people know what we're doing, and I'd appreciate that. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 1:45. Bye.
Bye. Have a happy unicorn day.
Go ahead.
And mystical